Hey, this is Eric from Satisfied Incorporated. Today I want to make a video on initial setup settings with your BC coilovers. So first off, if you find my videos helpful, do the like, subscribe, leave a nice comment if you can. And then if you can't, just leave a bad, mean comment because that still helps the algorithm. So do all that stuff if you can, or just enjoy the video. That's fine too. Also check out my website, satisfiedincorporated.com. If you want wheels or old BMW stuff, or if you need coilovers for any car, check them out. But if you're watching this, chances are you bought one, and I'm just kind of trying to tell you how to initially set this up. So the most important thing that I want to get across is going to be the first thing I talk about, because I want people to understand this. Bro has BC coilovers, my buddy, and it's a really rough ride. Okay, that's all I hear. And then another thing I hear is, or I'll see, is that people will show, this is a front, but you'll see like a rear that has like an eyelet on here for the mount, and it'll be busted off. So the biggest reason that's happening is because everybody is setting their ride height using these lock collars here, and they're squishing the spring, which gives them a taller car. That's incorrect. You do not want to do that. You want to adjust all of your ride height by loosening this locking ring and then unthreading the whole entire, like twist this off, make this longer. That's how you get ride height. Okay. So the problem is if you undo these and then you turn these up and you squish this, there is there's obviously the shock shaft in here, right? And what you're doing is you're squishing this and you're making this ride height get bigger. Because when the car sets on this, right, it's supposed to squish it down. But if you get all your ride height through squishing the spring, it raises your car back up. And then what you got is you've got full extension on this coilover. And then when you drive down the road, it's constantly just like, it doesn't have any more shock shaft to give. So it's constantly just topping out. And that's where you're getting these pictures of these guys that have these eyelets on the bottom, and they're ripping completely off, is because they're topping out too much. So that is the whole point of this spring, is to get you, like, say this is a 5-inch worth of shock shaft showing. We want to like kind of get it down so the car makes the spring compress, say 2 inches, 2.5 inches. So you're right in the middle, and then you have a lot of up and down movement, right? So that is the whole purpose of this spring. So we do not want to set the ride height with the spring. We want to set the ride height with this sleeve. That's what this sleeve is for. So when you set this spring, you can see this one's just loose. So if I undid these, it's just barely touching. But see, it's not like I can't move it up and down this way. So these are just barely squishing it, just barely. That is the number one thing that people screw up, that'll make these, it'll give these BC coilovers a bad name. So please don't do that. Set these, they'll probably come to you just like this. BC sets these up, I'll set these up so it comes this way. Just set these, lock these in, forget about it. Don't ever touch them. Okay. And then next thing you want to do is just make sure they're all tight. So you got one lock ring here, one lock ring here, one lock ring here. You'll get the spanner wrenches to tighten those up. Make sure those are tight before they go on. So, and then you want to put this on, obviously you're going to put these in your shock top mounts, and then this is going to get welded on in the front. The rear will do the same, but it gets bolted on too. So now we want to adjust your ride height. So I say unlock this, and then you'll turn the whole entire coil over on the car. You can do this, and it'll raise or lower your car. So I'm not going to be able to tell you where you want your car to ride. You might want it tall, you might want it slammed, whatever you want is fine. But don't measure, say, like this distance here to this distance here. That's not how I want to set your ride height. And the reason we don't want to do that is because your car could weigh, I'll just give a bad example. Your car could weigh 1,500 pounds on one side and then 1,000 on the other. So since these are the same weight springs, and that's very, very common, by the way, to have different weights. So it's going to compress each side spring a little bit differently. So if you measured this and this is how you're getting your ride height, then you might be a little bit lopsided. So a better way to do it is just to put all the weight on the car, measure from the ground to the fender, and then get your heights that way. So obviously if you're low, you know, you'll turn this thing out. If you're high, you'll turn it in. Get set up from ground to fender, not from shock measurement to shock measurement. So hopefully that makes sense. And now you're going to set your camber. So you've got these screws here, and then it's also got these little markings in here. And you can go by these markings if you want. The thing is cars are not very true. And if you go by these markings, maybe it will be dead on. But what I would do is I would get a angle finder. You can actually get an app on your phone, and then you can find a flat spot or make a flat spot on your wheel with all the weight on the ground. And then you can hold your phone up. Well, here, let's see. I've got a... So if you have this is the wheel. You just want to set your phone, or like a piece of like steel, or I don't know, something that'll be flat, the same on the wheel, and then just set your phone on it. And we're going to see how much angle, right? How much camber you have. So if you're looking at the front of the car like this, you know, this is camber, is the top of the wheels tilting in. That's exactly what these things are going to do, right? So that'll depend how you like your alignment too. Typically I just go for like 1 degree with the wheel tilted in. So if I had my phone on that piece of steel on my wheel, I would look for like 89 degrees. Okay. So that is how you set camber. It's actually pretty easy. And then another note on these is if you put these in and you change the ride height on your car, it's probably going to change your alignment too. So you can do your own alignment if you know how. I actually sell alignment plates that are super handy. You can grab those, or you just take it to an alignment shop. Simply done, right? So, and then the last thing that I'll go over is you can look at these here. Oh, so these say soft and hard, right? And so if you turn them, it gets harder or it gets softer. So you should have from 0, if you turn it all the way to soft or hard, you should have 28 total clicks. So the way I would suggest going about it is I would go to 0, and then I would back it out to 14 clicks. So you're right in the middle of soft and hard. And I would do this on all 4 corners. So then I would take it for a drive, and then I'd go, oh, well, this feels just a tiny bit too hard. And so I'd do like maybe 5 clicks softer on the front only. Just do the front or the back only to start. So take it 5 clicks. You're like, it's still too hard. Another 5 clicks. Or maybe in the beginning, you were like, oh, this is not even in the ballpark. This is brutal. Maybe you go 10 clicks. Go 10 clicks all the way softer. But then try to kind of get a feel, like how does just the front feel, or how does just the rear feel? So you just do the front or the rear at one time. So, and then take it as many clicks as you want, 5, 10, like I say, or take it all the way 14, see how soft that is. Just be somewhat aware that, you know, if you go too soft, maybe you'll start bottoming out, and, you know, hopefully you're set up right where it doesn't take out your fender or an oil pan or a valence or something by going too soft. You just don't want to destroy your car, obviously, you know, hit a speed bump and you're too soft. Going too hard really isn't going to do much other than just hurt your back. So anyway, take that about 14 clicks out in the middle, and then just adjust them at one at a time. Okay. And so on all my cars, that's all I've ever done, and just had a good time. That's it. Just dialed in like a super good feel for me. I usually end up somewhere around between 5 and 10 clicks away from the 0 softest setting. So I'm almost as soft as I can go, but I'm 5 or 10 clicks in, which is actually quite a bit more. So that's where I usually end up, 5 or 10 clicks. So if you end up going too soft, or if you end up dialing it all the way out and it's not soft enough, even though it's softer, then we can talk about getting maybe a lighter spring. This isn't the ideal situation. The ideal situation is that you'd want to break this shock open and you want to change all the valving and the shims. But I understand that's a big ask for a lot of people. So since that's a lot to ask, we could just mess with the springs. You could just go one spring lighter, one spring weight lighter. So these are like a 6K spring. So these probably came with like 6K on the front, 5K on the rear. So what you could actually do is you could move those fronts, or you can move the rears to the front. So now instead of 6K, you'd be 5K. And then on the rears, you just buy 2 springs, which they're actually not that expensive. And so you could go to like a 4K on the rear if those are too stiff also. Or maybe it's just your fronts that are too stiff, or maybe it's just the rears that are too stiff. So there's a lot of ways you can play it. But what I'm trying to get at is a lot of times you can just move the rears to the front and then buy new rears if they're too soft. So that would be another way that you can get a little bit softer. And the thing is, if your initial setup with the valve turned all the way soft was brutally hard for you and you don't like it, I don't know if moving one, I mean, you could move like, like I say, these are 6K, so you can move to 5. Going into 4, it's starting to get pretty soft. I mean, you could try that, but I wouldn't get too much more into it than just moving like 2 sets of spring rates like that. You could try 4s if they're brutal. So, like I said, on my cars though, I don't really have that problem. I put it on how it's sent. I run about 5 to 10 clicks, and it's perfect for me. And I feel like I am picky. I don't like a rough ride. And to tell you the truth, I've got a couple stock cars too, and I much prefer my quote unquote harsh riding BCs over stock cars. To me, it's way more comfortable. But that might be another conversation that we need to have, is like, what does comfort mean? Comfort to me is not gushy move, like riding on clouds. Like, it's none of that. Mine is very controlled, like no side to side body sway, body roll. Mine is very like, kind of like, it's not firm, but it's not gushy either. It's just like perfect. That's what I say anyway. But everybody's going to have their own opinions on that and what is perfect. But it's worth a conversation, because I think a lot of people think that soft, gooey riding on a cloud is what perfection is. But I would argue that, because that's what actually like fatigues me. It makes me so I can't drive for a long time, is because it's too soft, and like I fight the body roll, and like my lats get really tired, and my back will hurt. And if I have a little bit more firm of a car, it doesn't hurt my back and it's not uncomfortable. I mean, I know the bumps are there, but it's just a better way for me. But to each their own. If you want soft, get soft. If you want firm, get firm. But hopefully that teaches you real quick how to do a proper just initial setup, and you can work on these. Like I said, just don't raise your car with this spring, please. So I hope you found this video informational, and hope you found it entertaining. If you did, like I say, just like or comment or something like that, or don't do anything, and that's cool too. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.